Hello and welcome to this week's edition of Wednesday Wisdom. My name is JB Hilliard, and yes, it has been a very long while since I've posted a Wednesday Wisdom video. And so for those of you who don't know, this summer has just been a very trying, challenging summer full of loss. But we are here, and I thought it was especially appropriate for me to come back on this week as it is Estate Planning Awareness Week 2024. So I just wanted to come on and speak generally about estate planning, life and legacy planning, as I like to call it, because people think that estate planning means you have to have a large estate or be extremely wealthy in order to qualify to have an estate plan. And for those of you who've been following me or listening to me for any amount of time, we know that that's not true. So for this week's Wednesday Wisdom, I just wanted to talk briefly about just keeping your estate plan current. First of all, for those who have one, and if you don't have one, to get one. But speaking to those of you who already have something in place, to make sure you're keeping it current. And there is no set or specific timeline that you have to do this. A lot of us estate planning attorneys recommend at least reviewing your plan once yearly, but there may be certain other circumstances that would require you to take a look at things and make sure your information is still current. One of which is marriage, of course. If you get married, now you want to go and make sure your beneficiary information reflects that of your new spouse. Make sure all of your other fiduciaries listed would be your spouse, and if property is to be jointly owned, make sure all of that type of stuff is updated. Another major life event that may require or should require you to check at least your estate plan information is, along with marriage, is divorce. Again, checking those beneficiary designations, making sure your ex is not going to reap the benefit of something happening to you, either an incapacitation or your passing. So I'm pretty sure you would want to update that information if you are indeed divorced, recently divorced. Kind of along those two is a birth or an adoption of a child. You want to make sure your loved ones are protected, not only to ensure that your wishes are respected, but you want to protect your family and your legacy. So any type of change in the family, the makeup of the family certainly should require you to take a look at things. And then some other life events may be the death of a loved one, where that loved one was perhaps listed as your fiduciary, your main person, your executor of your will, or your agents for your power of attorney or your healthcare directives, or any other important fiduciary role. Like in my case, my person was my mom. So when she passed away, I had to update all of that. So you want to make sure whenever, unfortunately, there is a loss in the family, that if that family member was listed anywhere in your plan, that you make those updates. And then there's also the move. If you happen to move to a different state or even out of the country to a different country, you want to make sure, if you already have an estate plan in place where you're moving from, that that plan complies with the laws and the rules and the regulations of wherever your new location is. So you just want to make sure you're taking a look at that. And then lastly, because I do want to make this a quick video post, is any kind of significant change in what you own. I kind of mentioned this earlier as far as jointly owned assets. If you sell a house, or if you get a different type of property, if you all of a sudden have a share in a business, ownership in a business, or any type of significant change, if you're have a significant increase in salary, or you make any other types of large purchases and things where your assets are changing, you want to make sure you're taking a look at your plan to make sure those assets are going to eventually end up in the hands of the right people, your loved ones, your family members, your beneficiaries, and make sure you're documenting what you own and keeping that current. So with that said, this actually did go a little bit longer than I wanted, but I wanted to just share with you a couple of quick major life events that should at least require you to take a look at your estate plan, and if nothing else, to look at it and review it to make sure either updates are needed or not needed, and then to know what next steps to take from there. So with that said, I, as always, thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.